Hop. Je vais mettre Fortnite, non mais. Tac, Genshin Impact. Jeudi, si tout se passe bien, je vous refais des minières. Parce que je vous sers la même depuis que je joue à Genshin. Yo Alan, yo Achille. Je suis en train de perdre ma voix. Donc on stream, mais à tout moment je vous dis que je stream pas parce que je suis enroué.
We're still in the same day. Nahida, you already knew last night that we didn't break out of the Samsara? Why did you tell us? Would there have been a point? You would have spent the night with new worries, with tomorrow still out of reach. In that case, you might as well rest within that brief moment of hope.
Non mais je suis pas fatigué, c'est juste j'ai juste mal à la gorge.
Whatever. Guess you were looking out for us after all. Of course. In the time we've been together, you two have been everything to me. Paimon's flattered and everything, but maybe you're
Non mais ça va aller, t'inquiète Achille.
What I mean is,
faut juste que je crie pas, que je propose ma voix et puis ça va le faire.
You two are still the only ones who can see me and sense my presence. In other words, if you weren't here, I may as well not exist. That's why you two have been everything to me. Get it? Nahida's talking about confusing Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. So, Traveler, did the new clues yet? Huh? Why are you scrapping your previous theory? Oh, yeah! You're right! Gosh, how did we not notice that? In a simple time loop, people's physical condition. So, what's your new hype?
The moon, illusions, and lies. What do they all mean? Mercenaries rely heavily on muscle memory, and Dia was able to use her experiences to avoid
Mais si, tu pourras récupérer ton compte Achille.
Cycles. The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations.
Coucou Lilou.
We still hear it every night, even though we removed our Akasha terminals. Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
Ça va.
We've already experienced the Sub-Zeru's fest.
Un peu mal à la gorge. Un tout petit peu mal à la gorge, mais ça va aller.
The moon, illusions, and lies. What do they all mean? The beep is a prompt tone. That doesn't sound... The beep is a prompt... The beep is a prompt tone... I can't seem to cohesively piece everything together.
Hop, ça a changé.
If all our memories of a day are erased at the end of that day, then we would unwittingly relive the same day again and again. Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to
Bon, ça j'ai déjà dit.
The moon, illusions. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound...
Ok, ça marche, Achille.
Oh! Then the beep we hear every night could just be indicating the deletion of our memories! That's why, when we wake up, everyone thinks the Sub-Zero's festival has it, but muscle memory can't be erased. That's why Dia has been getting better at using her greatsword. Now everything makes sense! A brilliant deduction. Nahida, tell us if we're right or wrong! To put it simply, it's as if you've mistaken a pyro crystal fly for a firefly in the night. You lost sight of its true nature because you focused too much on your perception that it glows. That isn't simple at all! Why don't you go talk to Miss Dia again? You might learn something new. Right! She did help us find our latest clue after all. Let's go!
Les voix de ton jeu sont très aiguës. Alors, c'est juste parce que elle est... De quoi? Ok. Ok, Achille. Banne-toi toi-même si tu veux.
There are better ways.
Je suis à 1500, c'est carré.
Seek out our enemies than, well, standing here.
There you are. Really took me a while to find you.
As expected, Dia also didn't get hurt today.
Get hurt? Why would I? Don't underestimate me.
Well, you're still getting used to your new greatsword.
Huh. Truth be told, I also think it's pretty strange. It just suddenly felt so familiar in my hands and... wait a second! How did you know I got a new greatsword to begin with? I didn't tell anyone about it.
Traveler, could you explain the situation to her today? Hyman's gotten a little sick of doing it. Oh, that works!
What happened to you guys while I was gone? Did you get brainwashed by some cult?
Don't think too hard about it. Just take what we're saying at face value.
Alright then, let me get this straight. You're telling me that my body's already gotten used to this great sword, but my brain just doesn't remember it?
Yes, your memory's being erased every day.
Then I
Alors
have to
ça marche.
disagree. That's impossible.
Qu'est-ce qui marche, Achille?
Why do you think that?
If we've actually been reliving the Sub-Zero's festival day after day, then what happened to the things we used, the money we spent, the food we ate? Common sense says my wallet should have emptied itself a long time ago. There's no way I wouldn't have noticed that.
Right. They could use the Akasha to record what everyone did that day, and then use the city's resources to replenish everything. It's not very likely, but it's also not impossible.
No, it is impossible. I've got proof.
You have proof? Where?
You two are surprisingly serious about this nonsensical discussion.
T'inquiète, j'avais compris, Achille.
Fine, I'll play along for a little longer.
Mais tu
Come
voulais
with
tester
me,
quoi?
Miss Dunyarzad? Please come along as well. I still can't guarantee that this area is safe.
Paimon can't believe it's deep.
No time to lose. No time to lose.
Attends, avant, je vais essayer d'aller débloquer les points de
No
TPK
time to
là-bas.
lose.
Hey, stop right there! No one is allowed to enter or leave Sumeru City right.
Whoa!
Ah, l'autre il est plus bas. Ouais, c'est pas grave. On ira le faire plus tard, sûr.
This is it.
Ah, je savais pas, vous pouviez déban les gens en fait.
This is a wooden training dummy. What about it?
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the result of several days' worth of practice. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked to pieces by now?
That's true, but what if they did?
Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training sessions. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the importance of refined control. The force, angle, and entry point of each strike is calculated and deliberate. That's why I remember every mark on the dummy, as well as my state of mind as I made each strike.
Si ça marche pas.
It's just as they say. Each
J'aurais
swordsman has
fait
their own
Autopeur,
unique
par
style,
exemple.
and even the
Ça aurait
same
été
swordsman
embêtant.
can't make
Bah non,
the
moi
same
j'aurais
cut
des ban
twice.
après.
It would
Moi
be
je peux déban,
impossible to
mais
copy these marks.
Is it really impossible? What if they use some fancy machine to carve every single mark?
People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the former has no spirit to it. The same thing applies here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of combat training. Whew, hope that cleared things up for you. Hey, is this that new brain-exercise game that's been super popular with the scholars lately? It's surprisingly fun. Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Nilu's stage. See you later.
Well, back to square one. Is our memory deletion theory also wrong? But at least we've reached some other conclusions in the meantime. Yep, that's true. So, can we think of any new ideas right now? Strange? Paimon feels like everything's been strange lately. Huh? Leaving the city? You're right! It's
Bah
really
si, je viens de le
strange
faire.
I've never thought of such a simple solution! Paimon can't believe it! Did we miss this because we're tunnel visioning too hard on our other theories? Or because we're just too tired?
Bah ouais.
How about we go back and ask Nahida? Maybe we've forgotten something about leaving the city.
No time to lose. No time to lose.
Nahida, we're back! You're back early today. Did you find something new? Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at the same time... leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your plans to do that twice before.
Oh bah là, Achille, ça tu peux pas déban. Hein.
But we don't remember anything. think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, it's probably more accurate to say that both times you never came back the whole night. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much about it.
It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Before we know it, it'll already be the next day. But still, neither of us remember anything about leaving town.
Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your—
Yep. Something here's definitely fishy. Let's get to the bottom of this tomorrow.
C'est du cadeau pour mon autre compte. Mais t'es bête, Achille.
Memories are back! About that. Well, where should Paimon begin?
Traveler. Aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another message for you. Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sabzeruz festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon will fill you in. It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay, let's go.
Ça marche, Achille. Bonne soirée.
Why can't we leave the city? What is the Academia up to now?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand Sage. Just wait until tomorrow.
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Ormos. If I don't hurry, they'll be stolen.
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance next time.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced a lockdown for Sumeru City today. How completely unsurprising. Let's go and question them. Hello, sir. Why can't we leave the city?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of insider info, I would have left this stupid post long ago.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters into our own hands. Why don't we climb over the walls? Those guards can't be everywhere at once. This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Let's hurry! Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But what if things get really weird out there and you get into some trouble? Oh, Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but... okay. I promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. Just a quick look. And please, be careful. Memories! Traveler! Paimon would never see you! Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back! You promised Paimon...
Paimon, calm down. He's here now. I don't think he understood what you were saying.
Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day! okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you didn't actually...
Okay, Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what really happened? I see. Using two people's...
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you... disappeared in an instant. No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest attention.
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of this? I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city. Those days' memories can't be awoken.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely... It really sounds like something big outside of the city. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But...
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to... Well... Okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right? Give me some time and take care of doing your...
Yep! Now we're talking!
I'm done. Here you go.
What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal?
You made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked it so that it could connect to any node.
To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha like the back of your hand. Anyway...
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use.
We'll never know until we try. At least let's go then. Let's expose those sages. All right. Paimon isn't as... Okay. That covers everything that's happened so far.
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when you were outside.
Okay. Now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the messages together.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru City space when you set foot outside of the walls. But... everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable. And if we take your word for it, the other spaces all had very weird...
There's another part here. I only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now! Those spaces are actually...
Why did the message end right there? What did the Traveler want to say? What are those spaces?
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Oh, right. Paimon I did hear a beep from the Akasha. Did it come from here or from the message?
The message. It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal.
After the beep, Traveler said even the final space has also disappeared.
Traveler, what do you think that final space could have...
Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be catastrophic? My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha. That doesn't sound right. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. That doesn't sound right. I need to...
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sub-Zero's festival, also disappears! And we're taken to the next day. Later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Do lots of new spaces appear every day? Paimon's head is spinning. Just what are these spaces anyhow?
Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret.
Wow, the Archon War, huh? That's an analogy and a half. Hey, where are you going?
Je sais pas où je vais.
No time to lose.
Je vais regarder la mer.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunyarzad?
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up with Nahida first. You can tell us both together. This time, we're gonna get to the truth.
Et on remonte tout. Attends. Salut William.
No time to lose.
Putain, c'est vrai qu'il faut que je fasse mon élévation. En avance dans les 4 archéons et après on verra si on le fait ou pas.
You're back! I've been waiting forever for you two. Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival? Okay.
C'est quel jour tu vas faire night demain?
Okay.
Merde.
Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiled... That doesn't sound... All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. Those spaces remind me of... dream? That doesn't sound right. The moon, illusions...
Non mais ça je l'ai à chaque fois ça.
That doesn't sound... People in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon.
Ah, faut que je l'associe celui-là.
We've already experienced... That doesn't sound right. We've already experienced... Those spaces remind me of... dreams. That doesn't sound right. The moon... Oh. Okay. Nahida said the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate. We've already experienced...
Oh putain.
We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream. But the truth is, the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those
Demain, 3h30 à 20h30, demain, je suis sur Fortnite.
That would explain why they sounded so weird when he was trying to describe them. Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, we're all in one big dream together right now.
Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this?
Oh, tu me fais
The
chier.
Akasha relies on the power of the gnosis to operate. It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people.
That doesn't sound right.
And it grants knowledge to the people.
Non, c'est chiant ça.
That doesn't sound right.
Oh,
Du coup, j'y vais au pif.
Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the Akasha has the ability to control people's dreams, too. But is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom?
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom.
So in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions, and the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So it was all a dirty trick? The real story is that the sages from the Academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh?
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the Samsara?
Oh.
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. We still hear it every night, even though we remove... Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, many more spaces materialized. Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded, more new spaces appeared. We've already experienced the Sub-Zerus festival many times, and... We've already experienced the... My mind feels exhausted, even though I haven't... I can't seem to...
Wow.
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the
Oh, je
Sub-Zero's
démarre pas, on
festival.
comprendrait mieux si c'est en français.
The
Hein.
dreams that belong
Mais
to
bon.
them are once again harvested by
On
the
comprendrait mieux
Akasha.
si c'était en français tout ça.
And so it continues.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream harvesting machine. Did Paimon get that analogy right?
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent habit to get into.
Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our
Ouais,
real
parce que
life
tu vois,
Akasha terminals.
c'est bien, tu lis,
Our terminals in this dream doesn't do anything.
mais quand tu live et tout, tu essaies de regarder le chat, suivre en même temps, donc c'est chiant quoi. Oh shit, hein, des
Now
mensonges.
that I think about it, that doesn't sound right. Now that I think of that doesn't sound. They say that alchemical.
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why...
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all. Now that you mention it, Nahida, it's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life.
Ah, putain, en fait,
On
ouais,
the
je
other
sais.
hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now. You
Ah, ils prennent ça
asked me
carrément
this question
comme de la
before.
provocation.
The
Ah
answer
ouais.
was, it
On
would
te parle loin,
literally
hein.
blow your minds. Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make more sense. Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker?
Là, c'est une chanson de Furina, je crois, c'est ça.
If someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that kind of risk. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Long story short, I'm really sorry I had to keep you guessing.
Oh là là.
You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally blow your minds. Now that you know this is all a dream, have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into... That's why I could only give you very subtle hints. Firstly, this dreamer in... Secondly, that's because people don't remember. So whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sub-Zero's Fest...
Never mind Paimon.
Eh, c'est une quête que j'ai envie de quitter, mais...
Yes. Only
Très
after
rapidement, ça,
receiving
hein.
the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream enhancing. Meanwhile, everyone else has.
Can humans really keep...
You might say your mental fatigue has already, especially those whose health is compromised to begin with, like Dunyarzad. This relentless exploitation takes an even harder toll on them.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows a thing.
Bah, on peut les esquiver. Ah, putain, oui.
Saving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. No matter what they're trying to do, after we end the
Je pensais que c'était des dialogues obligatoires, excuse-moi.
The sages of the academia do this behind their archon's back. This is
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
a sun and a moon. Oh, we're out of time today.
I'll tell you how to break free of the samsara tomorrow. See you then.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything, should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanali? Hey, what's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way.
Et ça, c'est bien. Ok.
Are we too late?
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad?
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream, so another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just...
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real Dunyarzad.
Puppets are stiff.
En fait, la Dunyarzad là, en fait, c'est une personne qui n'est pas réelle en fait. On l'a rencontrée, mais elle n'est pas réelle du coup, si j'ai bien compris.
Speaking of which, the old
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her. So you do.
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No, I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon.
Ah ok, d'accord.
I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sabzeruz festival with so many regrets.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the sage's fault, and they're...
I'm not beating myself up.
Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad.
To prevent more tragedies like this.
C'est l'Archéon d'Endro quoi.
Great, but how do we do that?
Although the Sabzeruz festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akashas, and that means this dream belongs to a host who created it.
Huh? So, how should we...
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their consciousness. Which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream.
Imagination? What do you mean by that?
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when a server at a tavern brings a plate to you, you'd naturally assume that food is on it. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine gold and more on the plate, the dream will respond in kind, and the server really will bring you gold and mora. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will always be food. Find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that happens, the person will wake up and the dream samsara will be broken.
How are we going to find them, though?
En gros, faut chercher quelqu'un qui dort quoi.
It'd be like looking for a needle in a hay. And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're dreaming? After all, like you said, don't wake a sleepwalker.
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point has all been for the sake of finding the host and ending the samsara. As for
Dans les rêves, elle dort pas, ok.
During this time, I'll be out of town.
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the traveler went?
Yes. I want to try something. There must still be a small wisp of possibility. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastic.
Paimon's still a little upset that we've come this... She was such a good person. Yeah. Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going, but... We mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad would definitely want to see us save everyone else. Paimon's wondering, do you think... Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't counting on there being other factors beyond their control. Like, so... Who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense! Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is a symbol of the whole Sabzeruz festival, right? Pretty cool. Let's go ask him some questions, shall we?
Vraiment, je pense pas que c'est lui, hein. Enfin, ils disent que c'est lui, mais je pense pas que c'est lui. Hein.
No time to lose.
Ouais, c'est bien ce qu'il me semblait. Hein. Ça me paraît...
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is everything...
Everything's fine, just... It's a little hard to explain.
An experiment? That came out of nowhere.
Could you... make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new Sub-Zero's festival tradition or something?
Less questions! More wishing!
Okay, my wish. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud, but I want Miss Dunyarzad to be happy.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she wasn't she just doesn't seem like herself. I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm special to...
So, you have a crush...
Ça se voit un peu quand
When she
même.
placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, I want everyone to have a happy Sub-Zero's Fest. What she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how... Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right moment to get it off my chest, but... Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh!
What?
Faki? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice try, you two. Anyway, never mind. I don't need to see her appear right...
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves her. But none of them has any idea that she...
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when Dunyarzad bumps into the kidnap... Huh? But Dia can handle them! Hey, Traveler!
No time to lose.
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yanni's pay me, not you. You... fine, alright. Knock yourself out. Why are you so... Anyway, watch
Ah oui,
yourself.
du fight, ça fait tellement longtemps que je me suis pas fight.
So you got yourself some backup. Suit yourself.
That's close enough. You unlucky today. Try to keep
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
Ah ouais.
That's close enough. This
Shouldn't let your guard down.
Salut Antoine Lavore.
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on
Ça va et
those
toi
guys?
Antoine?
You and Nahida both. Oh, and speaking of her, Paimon, remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came here with Dunyarzad because she wanted to pick something up? She said it was because she had forgot. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. She pointed it out to us that, yeah, Even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll
J'avais
probably
pas vu
still
mon
help.
pseudo. Comment ça ton pseudo?
This is the place. It's rude to enter other people's spaces
C'est
without
pas ton
permission,
pseudo de
but
base ça?
hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay.
Ah mais c'est Justin. Ça va et toi? Bah je t'ai pas reconnu, je pensais que t'étais un nouveau moi.
This was only a temporary resident. Should we open it?
Pourquoi ton pseudo il est comme ça? C'est ton nom et ton prénom? Ouais.
Wow. Dunyarzad wrote all of this. Sounds like she was always, even though she was also busy preparing for this,
Ouais,
she must have
d'accord.
wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the Sub-Zeros. If we hadn't found this book, we never would have known. But now that we know...
Ah du coup t'as dû te demander mais comment il connaît mon prénom en fait? C'est ça? Je suis devin, je suis devin.
Where are you off to now?
No time to lose.
Non.
No time to lose.
Le chose à faire que des recherches, vraiment.
It's Dunyarzad's puppet.
Généralement les prénoms je les connais grâce au pseudo. Sinon... Oh j'ai cru que tu t'appelais Justin à la base.
You must be exhausted.
C'est joli comme prénom Justin aussi.
We've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago.
J'ai hâte de finir cette quête là. Ça fait plusieurs streams que je suis sur celle-là là, j'ai hâte hein, de voir autre chose que une boucle temporelle.
Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about Nilu's
Ah voilà c'est bon.
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, traveler. What is it?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, how come... What?
Ouais elle est longue.
Doing this time?
Elle est longue. Et puis tu te fightes pas, tu t'explores pas. T'as plein de choses. Plein de trucs qui se... C'est long, elle est longue. Encore quand tu explores, quand t'as des trucs à faire. Et là, tu répètes...
Ad Astra...
Ah merde. C'est bon, c'est la fin. Ok, merci. Putain, je vais bientôt pouvoir faire une multi, hein. Bon, on a dit qu'on gardait. On gardait pour le prochain portail. Parce que même que ce soit la Raiden ou... Que ce soit la Raiden ou le... ou Ayaka, on a dit qu'on procrée dessus. Là, on peut faire une multi, là.
No dying, comrade.
On peut faire une multi, en plus on a un vœu en plus, donc en gros on a 11 vœux déjà d'assurer pour Ayaka. Ou la Raiden.
If you continue continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise that you exercise tact.
How did things turn out like this? Traveler? You don't have to get involved. He's a sage from the academia. I don't want to drag you into this.
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the academia, that's another day gone to waste! Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff?
En vrai, on commence à avoir plus d'indices sur le prochain portail ou pas du tout?
Oh, of course! If this is the sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just substitutes.
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers.
Je sais pas du tout.
It's just a shame that all the real Padisaras went extinct after her death.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padisaras
Ayaka.
in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful shade of purple.
Ayaka et qui? Je vois pas avec le cœur.
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padisaras? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even
C'est
notice.
qui Navia?
Tanyarzad, did you find these?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So, how?
Yeah. What's going
Là, c'est
on
une
here?
Géo de fontaine, ok.
Huh? You guys are acting weird. But okay, I'll try. Hey!
Ah, c'est elle qui dort.
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. What a surprise!
Ah, ok, c'est Nilou en fait. La seule personne qu'on voit pas pendant toute la quête.
But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assumed there will be food on a plate, and Nilu assumed there would be real Padisaras in the flower pots. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're dreaming. How should we make Nilu realize that?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sabzeruz festival?
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you think this is a dream? As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream, right?
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to find the Dendro Archon.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we first arrived in Sumeru City. So it was about the first sage, huh?
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more to the story.
'There's more to the story? What? 'Cause I thought he was the first sage. 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 'Cause I th
His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing to him. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you? Have a safe journey, my love." In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City, and founded the Academia. What a happy ending.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Yes, but his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon, like the sage in the story.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over too.
Donc, si j'ai bien compris, c'est une danseuse, c'est ça?
Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can. The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the Dance of Sub-Zero's.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Ah, mais elle est décédée. Tu sais, la quête était tellement longue que je me souviens même plus comment on est rentré dans ça là.
Oh, good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the whole. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Do you even remember going to sleep last night? Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival.
Je me suis endormi, c'est tout.
Have
Ok.
we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara? Quick, take off your Akasha terminal. She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What usual spot?
J'ai pas compris, elle est décédée ou pas? Non, elle est vivante. Je comprends rien. Elle est en fantôme dans le rêve. Elle est... Pourquoi il y a un point d'interrogation à côté de Catherine?
For organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
You're okay!
Oh, a traveler, Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream. And I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zero's.
J'ai enfin fini cette quête de mort. Et logiquement, je récupère aussi une pierre. Putain, on va pouvoir en faire des vœux. Hein. Voilà, on en a 2 plus une multi, on a 12 pierres.
Sub-Zero's festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the traveler's favorite bench?
Oh, genre, j'ai un banc favori. J'ai un banc favori.
No time to lose. No time to lose.
William, c'est normal, hein, si tu me vois prendre aucun coffre, rien, c'est normal. C'est pour l'explo, après ce sera plus simple.
After we parted up among the countless once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it
En gros, pour l'explo, je vais regarder une vidéo, comme ça, je suivrai le mec et les coffres, ils sont 100% sûrs d'être là, quoi.
Not a moment too soon. Huh? Both are fine. All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right?
D'ailleurs, je dis, je vais faire des... Oh, quoi que je ferai samedi les minières. Ouais. Je ferai samedi les minières. Jeudi, on fera du... Hors stream, je ferai du... On fera du Genshin, mais hors live. T'es motivé, dis donc. Ouais, mais au moins, ce sera plus simple. De toute façon, on a... J'ai mon date à finir. C'est mon date, je suis à 96% sur la vallée tombe étoile, et s'il me reste que ça, après j'ai tout le monstre dragon à faire.
Even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was...
The traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact. No, this puzzle has life and death at stake.
Mais,
You could have got it. I
mais au
hope
moins,
the answers were
on aura...
satisfactory. To be honest. Oh, and you don't need to worry. Go and get some sleep. What a relief. This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Ouais, aussi, mais pour l'instant, je...
Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go.
We spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard
Putain, mais
anything from...
j'ai combien de morale là? Ah ouais, j'ai bien augmenté, c'est cool. J'ai 137 bouquins, ça c'est cool aussi ça. Je commence déjà à préparer le...
We can't...
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Wait, say what?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears that you're not interested. In that case,
Bah non,
please
je vais
go
me
to
taper
Port
une mission,
Ormos
on
and
fait que
convince the
parler là.
Eremites there to spend.
Hey, that's not any better.
Mm-hmm.
Paimon's...
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you and...
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would
Oh,
actually
la
take one of those
connasse!
commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head?
From when she said, Ad Astra Abisask?
So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up?
Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round,
Rachel.
and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Fairs, the Night of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at...
You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where every...
Huh?
J'espère que demain ça ira un peu mieux ma voix parce que
Wasn't I describing a really happy dream?
ma gorge me fait un peu mal donc
Why are they both looking at me like that?
No, we aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check.
Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning.
Right. Who knows what'll happen if they
Ouais,
manage
bah,
to
je sais
pull
pas.
off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival.
So
Et t'as
our
essayé de
first priority
désinstaller
should be
Fortnite et
the
de le
festival.
réinstaller, Achille?
Good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna...
Tu perdras pas ton compte, t'inquiète.
Let's continue our chat here.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida?
Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thought. I've already tried that. But all the key members of the Academia, even the core 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be...
Ouais, mais moi sur Switch, je sais pas comment faire, Achille.
I'm guessing not yet.
Faut que tu vois avec Tim ou quelqu'un qui sait y faire. Parce que moi, Switch, mes jeux, c'est des jeux que je suis pas prêt de supprimer, quoi.
It's doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals.
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
Are we really out of ideas? Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have some...
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably aren't in cahoots.
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Setaria?
Setaria? Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilou.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Setaria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the Academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Indeed.
C'est bon, à un moment je vais partir de la ville de Sumeru là parce que...
She had already been right. We must somehow make her face her problem. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the Academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots. and to have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Ok, elle achète sac à dos.
This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we ask the fortune teller about Sataria?
No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics.
Talking style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding his future. Can we get a fortune reading for him?
It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Nothing.
Tellement ouais.
Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Love prospect? The god, one who is fated to cross your path, will appear on... Huh? Harut! Marut! Did you two spoil my divination?
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune...
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is, suboptimal.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
D'accord, allez. Il vend quoi, lui?
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite stalls?
Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Samari City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret, and I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough Mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
This should be our final stop. Setaria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia. So she always comes by whenever she's out in the city.
Nahida, you've really thought of everything!
It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens, after all.
Peto.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right! I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars, and I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after their next round of exams.
What an admirable spirit for learning! Amazing!
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
So, was that everything?
3 familiar faces should be enough for Setaria.
What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Setaria face her problems.
Setaria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Setaria's soft spot.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Setaria feels about her homeland. Although she knew she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages. So, how do we set that up?
Well, King Deshret is long gone, and Setaria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey our made-up will of King Deshret. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Setaria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Huh? Best of luck? But we don't know how to possess anyone.
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically be as if you've possessed them yourself.
Huh. That is
Oh,
pretty
putain, la
convenient.
vache.
But why does he have to do this? Can't you do it yourself?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just...
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Here she comes! Satori is here!
Let's quietly follow her. As for how we'll
Ah mais c'est même pas une perso jouable.
I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
Paimon's starting to feel... Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
Ils sont cachés là.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong? I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they?
Salut Mathieu.
Marut and Marut.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you
toi?
today? You must have come for another echo of the divine voice of wisdom.
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth. The gods are asking, Sitaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Sitaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please.
Donc je suis vraiment en train d'économiser par contre Mathieu.
And ask for their divine
Sur comment?
And if I may ask.
Là j'ai de quoi faire une multi plus 2 singles.
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, King Deshret.
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Wait a second. King Deshret passed away a long time ago. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Whoa! She just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset, too.
Well done. Sitaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all.
All I know are some abstract Harvard-taught theories. And in any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly useless. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Sitaria.
He's at Akeem's now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away!
Bon, Hakim son père, il
It's
est...
okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again?
Putain, je sais plus. Je sais plus. Achille. Son père, il est maçon.
Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget?
Ah,
Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him. If I could get some more time off, I'd love to pay him a visit. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter.
Logiquement, j'ai
Let
pris
him
les
know
bons
that
trucs.
recently, faith in King Deshret has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those King Deshret believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you
Bizarre.
siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean... You've also become a believer of King Deshret?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you
Ah non,
the
j'ai
strange
oublié.
one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa!
Mais t'avoues que Suken c'était assez mouvementé. Hein.
Good at this!
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Sitaria. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything. Anyway, let's keep going.
Come on! Sitaria's already started talking with Shishan!
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately? Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Jishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as well.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia, and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects?
Please, please stop!
Elle est en train de... Elle est en train de vriller, la pauvre.
Even now, Satari is still trying to run from her problems.
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards! What should we do?
This is the most important part of all. Quick, get ready.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me what's happening in the city.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret. Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's impossible.
Miss Zetaria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Zetaria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared. Child of King Deshret, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King
Deshret? Ce qu'on fait, c'est mal, hein, en vrai, hein, j'ai l'impression.
The strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Attends, on est en train de la martyriser, la pauvre.
Why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well?
C'est quand le prochain portail déjà?
Pardon,
c'est ma voix qui part en couille.
Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the sages?
J'ai encore 15 jours pour récolter pas mal de...
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zerus festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
Ouais, que t'es full primo et
to
full...
fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closely monitored all activities within the Akasha. Let me see... let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the documents tomorrow evening at the Academia entrance.
The Academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean I've atoned for my wrongdoings?
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon? That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the God of Wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our side!
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. He's the one who deserves all the praise.
Putain.
Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Sataria's mission to go off without a hitch.
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of Wisdom and Guardian of the Scholars?
De toute façon, jeudi, je vais refaire de l'explo, jeudi, je pense.
The true Guardian of Scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.
Le lendemain à 19h, ok. Comme ça on va gagner full primo.
I'm from. If we didn't keep moving, we'd freeze to death.
Full pierre. On a combien là? On a 1659. Ah, c'est pas suffisant. Il va faire le tour du cadran.
You know, there are better ways to seek out our enemies than, well, standing here.
Catherine, we're here! Oh, you are the other Catherine, right?
That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Catherine's identity.
Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out the chance that the meetup tonight is just a trap. If something were to happen, my existence may be the only trump card we'll be able to play. After all, the Academia should still be unable to confirm the existence of my consciousness in the outside world.
Yep, exactly, just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Like, off? What do you feel is off? It's the middle of the night. Of course it's quiet. You're not...
No, I think he's right. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets. I'm not sure if this is the case for the entire city, though.
Huh. Maybe it's just a coincidence. maybe Sataria figured out a way to not only distract the guards, but also to get everyone to go to sleep early, just so we can exchange the—
I also can't quite figure out why things feel a little off. But now that we're here,
well, regardless, as long as you're here with us, Paimon feels a little safer. Huh. There really aren't many people out right now. Let's hope it'll be this quiet in front of the Academia, and that Sataria managed to distract all the guards.
Bon, on avance petit à petit. Tranquillement mais sûrement. Ça fait un moment qu'on sait pas fight. On a fight of. Allez. 8 mecs tout à l'heure. Vite fait là pendant qu'on faisait les souvenirs.
The triumphant hero returns at last. And to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
You're the outcast, expelled from the Academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor. If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
No, what should we do? These are all just regular people.
Leave now. You need to get out of here.
But that guy's a Fatui Harbinger! We can't just leave you here!
Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru! Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
Un
nouvel antagoniste.
You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
Et Naïda a été démasqué. Ok. Ok.
Should be far enough. Paimon needs to catch her breath first.
Ok, bon.
We only made it out because of her. Paimon wasn't counting on running into a new Harbinger here, let alone such a high-ranking one. That guy was number 2. So scary.
Ah, c'est pas le mec que Mathieu m'avait dit.
Remember, Tainari told us about him. Sataria did say that someone who... and that even the sages are wary
Numéro
of
2
him.
des Fatui.
Yep. Sounds like she must have been talking about the doctor. Yeah. Now that the doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the Academia. They're in cahoots with the Fatui. But what are the Fatui after this time? Another Gnosis? Yeah. Things would be a lot easier with Nahida's help. Nahida said we'll meet again outside of the city. But we you mean... Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project when we were staying with him in the Vidia forest? That has to be the same project. Even though he turned it down at the time, he might still know something. There's no time to lose. Let's go to Gandharvaville.
Let's go, on bouge. On va suivre le chemin.
No time to lose. Yep. Yeah. Tidal wave. Yeah.
Everybody stand back! Why do they never miss?
D'accord. Bon, oui, c'est activé, mais...
Hold it right there. A blonde-haired traveler and a floating fairy. We've got you, all right. Take a look around. You've fallen right into our trap.
Are you...
Core of 30? We're nothing like those government lapdogs. We are an elite brigade that commands the highest...
The outcast? An outcast from the But why wouldn't the doctor just send the Fatui after us?
Still wasting...
You're up, traveler!
On va leur casser la gueule.
Following orders. New punching. Yeah.
Eat this!
Need.
That's close enough. Where do you think you're going?
Stand clear. It isn't over yet. Here comes reinforcements.
This is gonna hurt.
That was pretty rough. Is that what elite mercenary? Yeah. Looks like we'll have to keep our guards up. But this doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He knew exactly... going up against smart people is tough.
Ouais, Mathieu.
Let's...
I'll have to grab a drink with Flame Man. No time to lose.
Oh, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What are you two doing back here? Kale! It's nice to see you again! To be honest, I'm not doing too well. My Elazar has been progressing at a faster rate lately. I'm finding it harder to complete more intricate tasks. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule.
He will only allow me to stay here and coordinate other people's tasks.
Oh, Kale. Speaking of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here to talk to him.
Ah, j'ai découvert, en fait, Mathieu, j'ai découvert j'ai eu la cinématique pour
He
le
just left the Avidia Forest a little while ago.
le numéro 2 des Fatui
He was
là.
headed to Party's DI.
He left? What? Isn't Tainari always saying that he never wants to leave the Avidia Forest? He even turned down the sages.
I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work as a forest watcher above everything. He almost never leaves his post. He left in a hurry this time. No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. He also made sure to delegate all his tasks. To leave in such a hurry? I'd guess he had something Master Tainari originally studied in the Amorta Darshan of the Academy. I know that before he became a force.
A research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Party's DI.
Don't worry.
On avance doucement, mais tu vas bientôt affronter un de mes boss préférés. Ah, c'est l'autre là qui ressemble à... Enfin, ouais, il ressemble à Nomade, c'est Nomade. C'est une autre forme, quoi. Ah! Ah, j'ai pris une photo.
No time to lose.
Nouvelle zone de Sumeru bientôt là.
No time to lose.
Ah mais ça c'est pas les fameuses zones à libérer ça. On va le faire.
You're mine.
Attends, je sais plus ce qu'il fallait faire. Ah, si ça y est, je me souviens. Et le dernier.
Who's next?
Merde, j'ai plus.
Amateur mistake.
Ah merde! Bon ouais, je l'ouvre, c'est pas grave.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Ah, je savais pas que ça débloquait un coffre, Mathieu. Je t'assure, je savais pas que ça débloquait un coffre.
Welcome, welcome.
You are not welcome.
Death looms.
Boba, get them!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
You're mine!
Shouldn't let your guard down.
Regret.
No time to lose.
Après, t'es pas obligé de les ramasser. Ah bah, trop tard. Ah, d'accord.
No time to lose.
Bon, trop tard, je l'ai ramassé.
No time to lose. Yeah.
Wait! Look who it is! Thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried about you. Hey! This was supposed to be a touching reunion, but you're ruining the moment!
Actually, it's very smart of the Traveler to be wary of me right now. After all, the Doctor has shown that his technology can apparently even plus. It's not like you could have known what happened after we split up, and I was facing the Doctor by myself. Even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm can occasionally pass as a patch of sky.
Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure...
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything. All I wanted was to clarify my point.
Well, we understand that point now. Please, Nahida, tell us more about what happened.
When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, instead,
Je crois que je vais cut à 20h.
closer to creating hallucinations.
Je suis un peu malade.
That luckily, I managed...
Donc, pas faire tard. Hein.
The Doctor sure pulled out some hidden cards, but
I wouldn't be really...
Je sens que je vais avoir du mal à dormir aussi.
Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between mine? Ugh. Feels like he's toying with us. What a nasty piece of... Plus, the Doctor's combat ability alone is apparently enough to make him...
We shouldn't give up hope just yet. Let's try to find enough...
Actually, Nahida, how did you know we were trying to get to Party Stii?
Yes, I have. I can see the Traveler's elemental energy, so I deduced your destination by looking at the direction you were moving in. You didn't come here for sightseeing, right?
We're looking for a sky...
Okay.
On verra, peut-être que dimanche on en refera, mais y'a pas une statue des 7 dans le coin là? Ouais, elle est loin. Qu'on y voit un peu plus clair quand même. Elle est en haut, elle est où?
No time to lose.
C'est juste question d'y voir un peu plus clair et bah de heal les persos aussi. Elle est là-haut. Puis au moins on aura de quoi se TP ici. Ah, on commence à voir un peu la partie désert là. Hein. La petite partie désert là, on commence à la voir. Hein. On a un donjon aussi ici.
No time to lose.
Tiens, comme par hasard. C'est quoi, ça fait la deuxième statue des 7 que je découvre.
It's Hypatia!
What a pleasant surprise!
Who's this? She's a scholar we met in the Avidia Forest. When we last saw each other, she was still training in the... what's it called? Satyavada life?
Oh, I see.
That's right, we're old friends. You've come at just the right time. Ever since I've come here, hardly anyone...
Hypatia, you're way too excited about this. Actually, for you to leave the Avidia Wait, no. Did you already finish your training and reach Paripurna life?
What do you think? My consciousness has already managed to make contact with the divine.
You did it! Congratulations!
It's so exhilarating to share this sublime joy with others at long. When my consciousness made contact with the gods.
En vrai, on aura bien avancé quand même.
What a supreme and unparalleled experience that was.
That sounds incredible!
Oh, all right. Actually, please wait, remember? I promised to help you understand what you saw from Irminsul once I gained deeper insights. My current self has not only gained true insight, but I can even help you establish a direct connection to the consciousness of the divine.
You can do that?
I've never heard of anything like that, but if you want to give it a try, I'll do my best to protect your consciousness during...
Hold on. I brought some Spirit-born ale with me. This is still a crucial...
We're using that in...
All right now. Hold my hand. I'll help you establish a pathway to connect your consciousness.
Okay.
Je sais pas, là, je dois être à 20-25% de l'archéodendro. Enfin, en tout cas, des quêtes.
It took 3 betrayals for me to finally understand. The world is just an elaborate tapestry of lies. My fury will never be quelled. The first to betray me was a god. My creator. My mother. Valuing strength above all, she saw no worth in me and I was discarded. The second was a human. My family. My friend. Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination.
Et ça parle pas de moi, ça.
The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest. Powerless before his mortality, he broke his promise to me. Humans, they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance. I denounced the world and laughed in its face. My chest will never again be defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human emotion. Then it will be empty, a blank slate, and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity.
Ah, c'est le fameux mec nomade qui est pas nomade, machin.
There is no need to fear. The pain
ça?
will be brief.
Ouais, c'est ça.
Your era is coming to an end.
What was that? Did we actually just see the Balladeer's memories? Everything matches what we know about him. But how is he connected to the divine consciousness that Hypatia was talking about?
You saw it, right? You felt it, right? Such a majestic god! Such a noble will! Alas, shame. If only that which beats
C'est pas
within my
Archeon.
chest wasn't a filthy mortal heart.
Do you understand now? I'm afraid this is no periportal life, but rather...
You! Why are you so mean to me? I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise and honor? Haven't I uncovered that light in the dark?
Hypatia?
That's how I always thought everything should be. Wait, have I already lost my mind?
Un petit peu, t'es devenue un petit peu folle. Mais légèrement, hein. C'est... Légèrement folle. C'est...
Wait, something isn't right.
Lui, ça va être un perso, mon gars. Pourquoi il y a Tignari d'un coup, là?
Okay, we finally lost him. Are you okay, Nahida? Wait, no.
Oh, the Traveler's back?
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency measure right before the Catherine puppet was destroyed. After that, Tainari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here. What? You swapped places? You mean your Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think this can be achieved with current human technology. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, "The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you anymore. But even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out."
Non mais là je commence à comprendre un peu petit à petit, mais bon, c'est dur, hein. Putain.
It's pretty vague. Oh, that makes sense. Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say anything without him knowing. She's being extra careful. Even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies. Huh. Paimon knows the moon illusions and lies are from the alchemical divination at the Sub-Zero's Fest. Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. Do you think Nahida was telling us to go find help in the desert? But she isn't with us anymore.
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana, correct? Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness who was occupying the Traveler's body, is the Dendro Archon?
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a bit complicated, so it's really hard for us to explain right now.
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation,
Tignaret, ça a l'air d'être un perso assez stylé, non? Enfin, je sais pas pourquoi la nuit il crache dessus.
And it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side. So,
en vrai, c'est mon deuxième 5 étoiles. Faut que j'essaie de le monter aussi. Hein.
While I was indeed invited to join that project, all I know is that the project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body? What?
Do you have any evidence?
Que j'ai mes 5 étoiles montées, quoi.
So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad.
Tighnari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Hypatia?
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to Pardis Di and began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile.
Non, je sais pas, ce serait intéressant de le monter aussi, non?
Now that you mention it, I knew the Academe, but I still didn't expect them to do something as the Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like, from your description, I don't think they've completed their project. There may still be room for us to intervene, but then, what is the connection between creating?
Donc là, le méchant principal, c'est alors c'est Sacra Moussia, je sais pas quoi là, c'est ça?
I'll stay here for now.
Et il est accompagné de d'auteurs là.
If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Ribat. That'll be your fastest route. Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit of wisdom go with you.
Thanks, Tighnari. Hopefully Hypatia will feel better soon. We're off then.
Si j'ai bien compris, c'est ça. C'est les boss finaux, il va falloir qu'on se tape à la fin de l'arc, on va dire. Et là, bien sûr, on va devoir faire tout se taper à pied parce que, bah, je suppose que c'est. Ouais, c'est là et j'ai rien en fait. Donc. Tout se taper à Yep. Ouais, je sais pas si j'avance vite ou pas,
Enhanced animal module 75. Yeah, out of the frying pan, into the fire. Race you.
C'est quoi ça? je vais pas chercher à savoir. Oula. Oula. Gros changement d'ambiance là. Eh, j'ai l'impression qu'il y a des endroits chelous à Sumeru. Hein. Non, je sais pas, il y a des endroits un peu spéciaux hein. Ça m'a tout l'air d'être un défi.
Here. So, just past this wall is the desert. Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall...
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Ah, il est de retour lui.
Over here.
Leur voilà. Cours pas frérot. Et puis dès qu'il y a les points de TP de ça, j'essaie de les prendre aussi parce que... Déjà ça donne des primos et puis ça permet d'avancer quoi.
Where did he go? How did we lose him? They were just here a second ago.
More Eremite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time?
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia?
Et lui c'est quoi? C'est juste un mercenaire hein, à la base. Il a rien à voir avec les Archons ou les Fatui ou par exemple l'académie là.
I can't say that I didn't expect it. However,
c'est juste un mercenaire.
Had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything this... Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Unfortunately, I've run into some difficulties. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you, and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you, and upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from me?
You really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the Academia after all.
Je sais plus ce qu'il fait.
So considering that, it is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest.
Ah bah, il y a
But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Am I right? No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own.
Ah ouais, d'accord.
Speaking of,
ouais, c'est un peu comme, je sais pas, Jean.
That's right. We have the same plan as you.
Ou Amber, quoi.
Have any concrete goals at the...
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village.
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go.
Il est du côté du bien, genre, il n'a pas fait le... Ah mais ça c'est chiant quand je dois aller dans des endroits et qu'il n'y a pas de... Ouais, il n'y a pas de carte quoi. Oh mais il y a des feux ici aussi à Sumeru, putain. Oh le désert mon gars. Bon allez, il y a un coffre. Ok, c'est des nouveaux ennemis, ça je suppose, les scorpions là.
No time to lose.
Ah mais une statue des 7. Parfait ça. Ah putain, la taille de la map encore là. Oh mes frères, t'as abusé. Ouais, j'avance vite là. J'ai découvert pas mal de la carte là quand même déjà. Je sais que c'est ridicule, mais... Ah bah voilà le perso de la bannière actuelle. Oh il a l'air stylé en vrai hein. Ah ouais.
Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia.
Would you care to enlighten me as to when and
vrai,
how
tu
I
l'as avant
invited
Noël.
the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Oh, Hatham.
De quoi, la voix
Do
chinoise
not
ou
think you
sino?
can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your act.
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you know.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Ah, tu parles de quoi, la voix? Ou sino avant, parce que tu m'as dit que ça sert à rien de...
General Mahamatra.
La voix japonaise, ok.
Head of all the Matra.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust.
Bah après, faut que je relance mon jeu pour que je l'ai, donc...
If I were you, I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you.
Has Al-Haytham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
En tout cas, c'est magnifique.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Al-Haytham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh! What you would do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of
them. Well, look at you two, acting all
Mais elle aussi, elle est là.
Over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here, otherwise these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get... Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village?
Putain, y a full perso là.
Seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds. Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong! Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away!
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover!
Encore une autre personnage!
Oh, this wind is too strong! Let's get up!
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two.
Candace.
Jeez, are all of you Academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
Ok, donc c'est notre perso jouable, je pense, qui vient d'arriver.
Well, this is pretty... Hey, wanna play sardines with three people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating any...
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our
Oh, elle
village
est
chief.
stylée aussi, elle.
I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down.
Et c'est une hydro.
Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of
Oh,
our
les yeux
village.
qu'elle a.
Our savior has come at last! Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Elle est magnifique, elle, par contre. Hein.
Wow, she's so gentle and
Elle
caring.
fait vachement... bah, elle est sur les mêmes vibes que Sino. Hein.
Like those guys over there.
Très égyptien, déesse.
Now that we're all better acquainted,
Déesse égyptienne et
we
tout.
should return to the topic at
Et
hand.
c'est une hydro, du coup.
As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have misjudged Candace's character.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So, which of you will begin?
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
Il y a tellement de persos 5 étoiles dans cette pièce. Oh, c'est une dinguerie.
So there's no shame in explaining myself. While Alhaitham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh? Exile yourself?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the
Mathias, t'es
General
encore sur le chat, je
Mahamatra
dis,
is
je
granted by
ferai,
sages. You have no
je ferai les
right
trucs
to
avant de
judge
date, tu
us."
sais, les quêtes et tout ça là. Pour essayer de grimper de level pour pouvoir choper le détecteur de trésors pour les trésors qui nous manquent là.
Nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today. I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, they can no longer see nor predict my actions. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth, I will administer judgment by my own name.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary.
Ouais, je sais, c'est pour ça.
Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a target?
Mais petite question, le détecteur de trésors, il marchera à Monstre Dragon aussi ou...
I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and a sage. The sages asked you to
Oui, il marche
investigate a
vraiment qu'à Monstre
blonde-haired
Date,
traveler.
genre...
Do you dispute this, Alhaitham? Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the Divine Knowledge Capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the Traveler.
I'll hate them!
After all,
No?
the promised
Okay.
reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed
Sachant
this
que j'en ai déjà ouvert pas mal, on va encore galérer quoi.
divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the Divine Knowledge Capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the sages. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia. Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Al-Haytham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the Divine Knowledge Capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been properly studied. After all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing in this land.
You should be well aware, Scribe Al-Haytham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and suspicion. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia. Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy, for now.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up your misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Ouais, qu'est-ce que c'est fou, elle?
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back, Dia.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Oh.
Whoa! What was
C'est
that?
quoi ça encore?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Creatures? In the sandstorm? Are you sure you don't want some backup?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage. You needn't worry.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright? Maybe we should go out and check on her.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. Alright, let's go. We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
Bon là il y a un truc...
Oh, Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Ah! Here comes another wave!
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have something to take my anger out on.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Mane in action. I'll leave these to you then.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
Je vais la jouer là.
Everybody stand back!
You can run, but you can't hide.
Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up? The creature stopped appearing. Was that the...
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Calm down.
Huh?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone...
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe and frequent. Besides sandstorms,
c'est marrant que je rencontre Sino au moment où il est dans la bannière.
According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So...
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins? I'm fascinated by how you think.
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! We need to help get them back home, safe and sound. But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
On va travailler avec Sino. Ce que je vous propose, c'est que on s'arrête là pour aujourd'hui. On va se heal. Et on continuera soit mardi prochain ou soit dimanche si je suis chaud, dimanche après-midi. Ah, sinon ça a l'air d'être quelque chose, hein. Voilà, nous on va cut là parce que comment, en fait je suis malade donc je vais pas forcer sur ma voix trop longtemps et demain j'ai un gros live de prévu parce que Johan veut qu'on live beaucoup donc j'ai un gros live de prévu de 3h30 à 20h30. Mais j'ai l'impression d'avoir bien avancé sur au moins les quêtes Archéons. J'ai l'impression de bien avoir avancé. Dites-vous que j'avais que ça au début du live. Que ça au début du live, je crois. Ouais, c'est ça. Et que là, maintenant, j'ai découvert tout ça. Donc on avance, donc il reste tout ça. Tout ça là, tout ça là. Voilà. Et ce qu'il y a au-dessus aussi. Là, tout ça là. Donc on a encore du taf, hein, mais on va se quitter là-dessus. Et je vous dis à demain sur Fortnite. Ciao ciao. Ah, le jeu en japonais. Le jeu en Jap.